What's going on, everyone? John the Bettist here, breaking down a much more manageable six-game NBA slate for Wednesday. And so far it's been a bit of an uneven stretch of recording this just before 10 p.m. Eastern time, doing it a little bit earlier tonight. It has been a long day, but a little bit uneven. We got one James Harden prop. The Knicks are down 19 with like 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Let's see if Harden can get two more PA, get that across the finish line, and then we're very close on the Royce O'Neal threes prop. We're halfway there for Gillespie, and Grayson Allen's not looking too bad either. So hopefully by the time I wake up, we'll have three more wins under our belt because God knows Jalen Brunson shit the bed today. And after getting, and as soon as I say that, he hits a three-pointer, which is, if you're in the Lindy Discord, you'll know that is my specialty. I am the reverse jinx king. And then the other one, we got two PRA of CLV on Jalen Johnson, and he gets hurt within the first 2 minutes of the game. So that's rough. But we have six games. I'm going to talk a little bit about all of them. Usually I just keep it to like three overall thoughts on the slate, but six-game slate, make it a little bit easier. Let's get right off to a good start here and talk about the OKC Thunder taking on the Detroit Pistons. We have a lot of actually really good, fun NBA games. A couple real stinkers, but a couple really good games with real serious, I guess like playoff implications you could say, but the really interconference games. But like teams that have playoff potential. So I think we'll start with this OKC Detroit game. The other thing to mention real quick before I get into the slate is there's only one game that features two teams that did not play on Tuesday night, and that's San Antonio and Toronto. And we'll talk about it later. That's the game I have the worst read on right now. So we're not going to spend too much time on it. But the thing to note in this OKC Detroit game, it's going to be a great one. It's, not going to be as good as it could have been, if SGA and Jalen Williams, all those guys were playing. But I think it's going to be a good one regardless. Something to note, OKC since January 1st has given up the most corner threes in the league, attempted, by the way. And then over that span too, only five teams have yielded more three-point attempts against them. So somebody that are going to target, somebody I've targeted so many times throughout the season, he's made us a lot of money, is Duncan Robinson. Um, there are no props out right now for any game. So I'm just going to give you guys a very high level idea of what to look for when the props drop. Hopefully, but before I go to bed, I'll be able to put a couple in. Hopefully, some props will start showing up. But Duncan Robinson, for instance, the line's going to open probably two and a half threes minus 120. I think that's like a really fair line. You got to remember 77% of Duncan Robinson's shot diet this year are three-pointers, and he's 96th percentile and above the break threes. He's 73rd percentile in corner threes. The guy just lives to shoot. I am gonna want to target him in this matchup. It's a fantastic matchup. Somebody else that I think could be interesting at a plus money over 1.5 situation is Ron Holland, who is 67th percentile in corner three attempts. He almost never shoots above the break threes, and nor should he because he's just not good at it. But that's another thing to keep an eye on for that game. Speaking of three pointers, next we'll talk about Memphis and Golden State tonight. So a couple of things. First off, right now the line is minus 2.5 Warriors on the road here. And it looks very appealing. I have the game as minus four right now. This is the problem. Draymond Green and DeAnthony Melton both played tonight. They have yet to play a back-to-back this year. For sure, DeAnthony Melton's not going to play a back-to-back after all the injuries he's had the past couple of years. I would assume that Draymond Green also sits here. which is why they, I guess, platooned Al Horford. They had sit on Tuesday night. They'll play him in this matchup, and I think Al Horford in the 3-point market could look interesting here. Um, but it's a stinker matchup because you don't even have Steph Curry for the Warriors, and then the Grizzlies are just a disaster. I don't even know really how you're even supposed to bet them. The night before. I mean, the one thing that I think you could look at is G.G. Jackson rebounds. That I feel like that's been underpriced for 3 or 4 straight games now, so keep an eye on that. But listen, Golden State shoots the most threes in the league by like literally by 4 percentage points more than the next guy. And Memphis gives up the seventh highest percentage of threes taken against them, the fifth highest from above the break. You're going to have a lot of guys in this matchup that should be interesting. Overall, though, one guy that I am going to look at because, you don't have Draymond, you're not going to have Melton, you already don't have Steph Curry, obviously don't have Jimmy Butler. There's a lot of usage up for grabs. I think Pods is going to get a lot of that usage. So let's keep an eye on his points prop, his assist prop, points plus assist, PRA even, and see what that line opens at because that could be something that we want to target. And like I said, Grizzlies, I'm not even going to bother because they're bound to do something stupid like they have for 4 straight games now. Um, but I'll tell you a game that's not stupid transition. Yeah. The Spurs and the Raptors. The Raptors play tonight. Jakob Poeltl did not play. There's a chance that he plays tomorrow against his former team for you weird revenge narrative people, for people that don't actually want revenge or feel the need to get revenge on a team that they were with for 10 seconds. Anyway, I don't really have a good read on this game. This is something I'm gonna probably dig into more tomorrow, but the only thing I guess that comes to mind is I think Victor Wembanyama could potentially absolutely smash. I mean, the guy's ridiculous. He's alive to smash any slate. But I think specifically in this matchup, a team that, if especially if Pirtle isn't able to go, they're gonna struggle to rebound the ball. I think Wemby could have like a monster game on the boards here. Cleveland, Milwaukee. This one also is a little bit hard to say. So it's a road back-to-back for the Cavs. They're winning tonight, so who knows? It looks like right now it's a 17-point game with 6 minutes left, but the starters are still in for the moment. So they're playing. Mobley won't play tomorrow on the back-to-back. He's not going to play. Um, they might decide to rest some other guys, but I'm not sure. One guy that I definitely am going to be interested to look at as props though tomorrow is Jared Allen. Kind of similar to what we saw with Harden and Zubac over in LA for the Clippers. Jared Allen's played really well. Like traditional big centers like Jared Allen have typically done well throughout their careers when James Harden is their point guard. So that's definitely something from a double-double perspective, possibly even PR, rebounds. We'll see. But Jared Allen's probably the first thing that comes to mind when I think about that game tomorrow. Um, then we want to talk about the Sacramento Houston game. These two teams both didn't play, so we have injury reports. The Kings basically outside of Westbrook and Murray, all their good players are out. As per usual, the Rockets are going to be without Amin Thompson, which is a pretty big deal. Uh, Looking at some of the numbers with him off the court, Tari Eason has a 4% usage bump there. So that could be something. And then Reed Shepherd and Alperen Şengün. This is, I think, what we want to key in on when the props go live. They both have an 8% assist bump when Amin Thompson's out. Last time Amin Thompson was out, Reed Shepherd started. We'll see. I think that will probably be live to happen again, especially since Steven Adams is out for the year. Because that might have been the other option that they went with and going double bigs. So let's keep an eye on that. I think there could be some value there. And then also Keegan Murray played like absolute crap the other night. We had his 3-point prop, did not go well. He hit a three like a minute into the game and didn't hit another one the rest of the game. Super tilting. However, we're maybe going to go back to the well at some way. I know DKDFS, one of the best guys in the industry. I say it all the time. There's two guys in this industry that I will tail no matter what the play is. I trust them completely. It's DK and it's Lindy. So both of them are on tails. So when you go over to tails and you give me a follow, you should give those guys a follow too. They have some unbelievable insight on NBA and Lindy with baseball season coming up. That's his wheelhouse. Lots of great stuff. Lots of abilities to learn. The best part about Tails isn't the picks. I could give you, picks all day. What I really want for me personally is I want you guys to kind of learn a little bit about the process because for me that's something that I have benefited from Tails since it was launched. Even before it was launched, a guy like Lindy has been great to kind of help me learn what are some blind spots in my process, learn about some things that I never would have known otherwise, areas to look. So, definitely give those guys a follow. Um, but yeah, I know DK's been on Keegan Murray PR, for a couple games straight. Um, that could be a spot. I mean, this is going to be a really tough matchup. It's a low total. I don't know how much exposure I'm going to really want to get to this game, but we'll see. And then lastly, Boston Denver. This is another great game, a great possible finals preview. And Jalen Brown, excuse me, Jalen Brown sat out on Tuesday night against the Suns, who literally they have nobody except for the three idiots that I bet. But anyway, um, right now the Celtics are 4-point dogs. I have them as 1-point dogs, so that's probably going to be something that I bet after this video. Um, but I think one of the things that you want to do to target the Nuggets is you want to get to the paint. Luckily for them, the Celtics only really have one guy that does attack the paint, and that's Jaylen Brown. So that will be interesting. On the other end of the game, I think that Jamal Murray assists could look interesting. The Celtics give up the fourth highest percentage of assisted baskets in the association. And the other one that I really want to take a look at is Tim Hardaway Jr.'s 3-point prop. So I've said it a million times. The Celtics give up the most above the break threes in the entire league. Tim Hardaway Jr. is a 93rd percentile 3-point attempter from beyond the break. So that's going to be somebody I'm going to look at. I'm assuming that his 3-point prop is going to open around 2.5 minus 115, minus 120. That might be bettable. Make sure you're following me on Tails. You'll be able to find out as soon as I make a play. It's posted. You click it, just one button, and you get it in your bet slip. You're ready to go. The best line at the best book you have available to you. It's legitimately a game-changing app. So make sure you are following me there. But that's all I really have today for this slate breakdown for Wednesday. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Share some thoughts in the comments. Anything I could do better on these videos? Anything that you want me to look at? Do you want me to go deeper into my process rather than potentially just, game by game or anything like that? Let me know. I'm happy to kind of do whatever you guys think can get you the most value here. But until next time, we'll see you.